Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. Today we're going to have an NFL draft prospect. His name is Micah Parsons out of Penn State University. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. If you like the video today, please comment and share it as I talk about this young man performing at the next level. So, if you like the video, please comment and share it. Let's talk about Micah Parsons, who I think is the best defensive prospect in the 2021 NFL draft. The young man, I like his size at 6'3", 245 pounds. The things about Mr. Parsons, as he opted out in 2020, let's go back to 2019. The guy has tremendous range to get to the second level. Another thing about Mr. Parsons, he's an elite athlete. When I talk about elite athlete, I'm talking about NBA jumping ability and the sprinter size speed. There's rumors that Mr. Parsons has done a 4.45 in the 40-yard dash. The thing about the young man, he's a playmaker. He can make plays all over the field. He's a linebacker that can play any linebacker position. When you're talking about the mic, you're talking about outside, you're talking about playing on the perimeter. This guy has all the tools. And the guy can go sideline to sideline with the best of them. And one thing I love about him, he's got pure instinct where he can pick out things and he makes plays along the line of scrimmage. I call him the navigator. Then when you look at it, he's a scary weapon because when he's out there, he's bringing it at 100 miles an hour. I'm going to give him a nickname when he enters the 2021 NFL draft. His nickname is going to be the torpedo here on 100 Yards of Football. And like I said, the man has tremendous blitzing skills. He could come off the edge because he started his career at Penn State as a defensive end. Then, if you want to talk about his production, over 2 years at Penn State, 191 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. That tells you all you need about Mr. Parsons. Most of all, this is what I love about the young man. If everybody want to just contest what I just said, go back to the 2019 Cotton Bowl. He was the most valuable player on the defensive side. 14 tackles in that game. 14 tackles. I'm going to repeat that. 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 1 pass defense, and he had a quarterback hurry that led to a touchdown against the University of Memphis as Penn State won that game 53-39. But another great thing about the young man, think about all the expectations when he was at Penn State and what he had to follow at that linebacker tradition. He followed Jack Ham. We all know about him, Super Bowl champion, the great Levi Arrington, Brandon Short, Sean Lee, Don Connor, Greg Buttle, and the national championship hero, Sean Conlon. That is very, very serious. So his expectations at Penn State, I think he kind of solidified that and showed everybody he was one of the best linebackers to come out of that school. Then if you want to talk about the high school level he went to Harrisburg High in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And think about all those great sports icons that came out of that high school. Dennis Green, we all know about him. He was very successful at Northwestern and with the Minnesota Vikings and the Arizona Cardinals. Jimmy Jones, who's a quarterback on that great 1968 USC team. Then the great Ed Templeton. We all know about him, one of the greatest woman track coaches in the history of the track game at Tennessee State University. He coached the great Olympian Wilma Rudolph. And finally, Jan Wright, who was a tight end on that great 1968 Ohio State team. So you can see Mr. Parsons had expectations in high school. He had expectations when he got to Penn State. And you saw what he done when he was on that level. I'm going to tell you about this. This young man, when you look at all the skills, 6'3", 245, what he can do on the football field, so I told you he's a playmaker at the high level. He is probably the best linebacker prospect that can do it all from a coverage ability, hitting ability, sideline to sideline instinct since Luke Kuechly came in the league a couple of years ago out of Boston College. And we know how his career went with the Carolina Panthers. And most of all, when I look at this young man and I look at his film, I look at his tape, I compare him to all the greats. He's got the coverage skills of a Bobby Bell that got a Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs. His rushing ability, I'm not saying he's going to be on that level, but it's similar to that guy that came out of North Carolina by way of the New York Giants. His name is LT, Lawrence Taylor. Then another young man that came out of University of Alabama that had a great career with the Kansas City Chiefs, Derek Thomas. And you're talking about sideline to sideline that brought that tremendous torpedo ability to make plays and arrive there at that point of the tackle that let you know he was there. He reminds me of two great players, Wilbur Marshall. That year that Wilbur Marshall played with the Chicago Bears, think about how physical and explosive he was. And then the young man out of Jackson State University, Robert Brazil, who's about 6'3", 250. Mr. Parsons' skill levels on that level. And we know about Mr. Brazil, who was just recently inducted into the Hall of Fame, how he used to come sideline to sideline. So my final words about Micah Parsons. There's no question about it. He's the best defensive prospect in the 2021 NFL draft. And I see him having a very long career and putting his name as one of the greatest linebackers that come into the National Football League. I'm putting a stamp on that. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it. I've been your host, Vincent Turner. As I always in my videos, I'm AKA the baby son and the only son of Chester and Inez Turner from the 901. My hometown, Memphis, Tennessee. Y'all have a fabulous week. God bless and enjoy the day.